me say a word of, it's going to sound funny, commendation towards Mormons. The word of commendation is obviously not in their doctrine, but the word of commendation is in their zeal and commitment. What I find admirable about them by way of commitment is twofold. One, their commitment to their version of sharing their faith is so committed. What I commend about them is actually their commitment that there are people that are not Chinese, and they have evidently spent a lot of work learning Mandarin, like in order to share their faith. Now, we don't agree that their gospel is the true gospel, but that's not the point in this particular case. They're very committed. Second, that my understanding is that the Mormon group church, their church is that they have a practice where the young people after high school, they commit to 2 years missions, self-funded, which is wow. Like that kind of commitment. So with that said, why does that relate to the follow-up question of whether if you encounter them, should you get them in the door? Here's what I'm trying to say. The people that are on mission trip, have you ever noticed that even though it says elder so-and-so, sister so-and-so, they're really young, your guys' age? Have you ever noticed that? Have you know, they're just young people. Like they're not like the primary, please have a seat. Yeah. They're not the primary leaders of their group, which is why anytime they encounter someone like me or Marcos or other things, and Pastor David, when we debate with them, they're like, okay, let me get back to you and let me find, our leader. Like, so honestly, these are just, if you think about it, think about their perspective from your perspective as a member of the church. They're like members of the church trying to do evangelism in their way. Okay. They're not like the leaders of, like they're not, I would not even categorize all of these young people as what the Bible calls wolves. You know what I mean? They are lost people that have been led astray by wolves. You know what I'm trying to say? So with these young people, maybe the question before the entering the house part is, should we even engage them in conversation? And with these young people, I think if you feel comfortable, why not? Because they're just like you. Like, well, think about how many questions you have about your faith. That's how many questions they have about their faith. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you're young people talking about faith, right? And I think so. So with that said, however, if they bring in their teacher, that's bringing in their pastor. And if they're calling them kind of their leader, that's kind of a false teacher. And so be very careful with that. With that said, there are some more mature Christians, church leaders, and particularly those that are called to be evangelists that are mature enough. By mature enough, they are biblically mature. That is, they have studied the scriptures well, and they have studied the arguments and the perspectives of Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses. And they feel that they want to speak the truth and maybe, by God's grace, win some of them, the young people, to faith. As for the teachers of those groups, in my opinion, you're not going to win them to faith, right? If anything, they are well trained to stumble Christians, right? So be very careful in that kind of situation. But for a young person in that group, if you feel comfortable, why not talk to them, ask about their views, and then that's when you kind of encounter those differences as well. So yeah, use your discernment.